was a happy teenager with lots of friends. I did well in school, I loved fashion and dancing and my animals. And then one day, everything changed. I just started hearing voices. They were screaming, chanting for me to die.
Are you ready to tell us your story?
I think so.
Okay. Tell me about the voices.
At first I ignored them because I thought I was going crazy. Nope, this can't happen to me. I pushed it down. There's no way I'm hearing voices. Then when I started to admit it, I got really terrified. Am I going crazy? I didn't know what to think. I was feeling embarrassed and ashamed because I should be able to control my life, like what is going on. I didn't know how I was going to reach out to anyone. But I did. So I reached out first to my grandma and then to the rest of my family, and without them, I probably would have killed myself.
As Taryn's mom, it was so shocking to wake up one day and have Taryn struggle with all of these new mental health challenges. She was such a high-functioning kid, and then one day she woke up and had hallucinations, voices in her head. We spent the next year dealing with overdoses and medication changes and so many hospital stays. Nobody could figure out what was going on. I filmed some of Taryn's symptom episodes to show her care team what was actually happening. They ranged from bugs crawling all over her, thinking she got a gunshot wound and was bleeding out, blood all over, and having dissociative episodes where she really thought I had kidnapped her and she would bolt out the door screaming for help.
Get away from me! The hallucinations that started to happen were something my worst nightmares couldn't even have dreamt up.
Okay, so just ignore it. You're the boss of your brain.
I felt like I lost myself. But then I had Mom there grounding me to reality and helping me focus that those things weren't happening in real life, even though I was dead convinced that they were.
I'm so proud that Taryn was brave enough to reach out to me and share about her mental health challenges, but on our own, it was just too difficult to handle. We had to reach out for more help.
Over the last few years, there seems to be an increase in presentation of depression and anxiety among teens. We won't know fully until a child comes and says, I'm very overwhelmed. And when we're hearing that, we want to be able to get all the information so that the child, number one, feels better having talked about it and realize we can name this and we can work through it. There's strategies, there's help. But we also, number two, want them to have a sense of being able to talk to us without shame and without fear of any negative reaction to that. I'm a fan of actually being direct with the questions and actually asking, where is your mental health at? And saying, I love you and I'm concerned. I care about you and I'm concerned. I think a teacher can say that. I care about you, I'm concerned. And we do need, I believe, funding and resources so that help can be given.
After Taryn became sick, we couldn't find any local supports where we seemed to fit, so we decided to create our own. TeensTalk YXE is a supportive community for youth and caregivers or parents that are impacted by mental health. We offer monthly sharing circles for youth as well as one for caregivers. We have mental health retreats. We do a lot of awareness and school presentations, and it's basically just a safe, supportive community for anyone impacted by mental health.
TeensTalk is amazing because when I was struggling, there was nothing like it. There was no support groups that weren't addiction focused. I've heard quite a few people say that they just didn't know who to talk to. They're alone, their parents don't understand. Now they can come talk to us.
Organizations like TeensTalk are, I feel, very valuable because they are spearheaded by the experts on the children. They're spearheaded by the parents and the children themselves to advocate for their needs.
After a year, we finally started to get some answers, and Taryn started to get the help that she needed.
Now that Taryn's doing better, I'm happy, but a little bit worried that it will go downhill.
Mental health is such a spectrum, and Taryn's might have been on the more extreme end, but just because you might present with something that's on the other end of the spectrum doesn't mean that your concerns are not valid.
When you're starting to feel anxious or overwhelmed or something is just off, tell a trusted adult, because you don't have to go through this awful thing that you're going through by yourself. There is no shame in having a mental health diagnosis. It can happen to anyone. I didn't think it was going to happen to me, and here I am. This is my story, and you can get through yours too. You are not alone.